So there we go.
Excellent. Excellent.
And we'll get rid of that. All righty, everybody's muted and we're ready to go. Well, the other day we got our auto ship and in it they had this booklet. And give us a wave if you've already seen this one. Yeah, okay. It'll turn up in your next auto ship, all right? But I tell you, it's an amazing booklet. It's celebrating the 10 years of 2007 to 2017 and the accomplishments and all that sort of stuff that Isogenics have done and some of the people in Isogenics, and it's really, really good. And one of the keys to this is, and I couldn't make this into one photograph, is these are all the millionaires here in Australia and New Zealand, right? And so we now have 27 people who have made a cumulative $1 million plus as a bonus in Isogenics. Now, some did it fast, some did it slow. Some are making $1 million a year. Some are making close to $2 million a year. Right? But they did it. But the interesting thing is this. It's only going to get bigger. Right? It's only going to get bigger. And the reason I know it's going to get bigger is because I'm going to show you some numbers that some of you's got off Trevor the other night. But these are the updated numbers that he put out. And I want to explain them to you. And so what I've done is I'm going to share the screen. And I'm going to go and get this one. And we're going to have a look at that. And this is business by the numbers. Okay, business by the numbers. Now this is fueled by the passion to win. And that's called a dream. But it's business by the numbers, but we got to have the passion or a dream that's driving us to make it work. So here are the numbers. Only 60,000 active associates in Australia. Now think about this. An active associate is somebody who's ordering 100 BV per month. Now that doesn't mean there's 60,000 business builders out there. There's not. There are 60,000 people ordering the product on a regular basis. Now, there's 24 million people in Australia. And in Australia, the average household, according to the Bureau of Statistics, the average household is 2.5 people per household. Now, 2.5 people is not a lot, right? That gives us 9.6 million households in Australia. 9.6 million. Now keep in mind, 60,000 of those households are using Isogenics. So we got 60,000 divided into 9.6 million gives us as a percentage 0.63% of all these houses are already in Isogenics. That's a smidge over half of 1%. So how do we equate that? Well, walk down your street, drive down your street, drive through town, do something and count the houses. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 92, 93, 94, 97, 98, 99, 100. That house might be in. The rest aren't. That's your marketplace. The other 99.5 houses is your potential marketplace. Business by the numbers. Business by the numbers. These are the numbers. Right? Now keep in mind, they've already created 27 people who have created $1 million in bonus. We haven't started. Now, Trev went through it and explained it this way the other night as well. Back in the early 80s or the mid 80s, the Amway Corporation here in Australia was turning over $63 million. Now that's the equivalent of, in today's dollars, of $2 million. $200 million. Right? So back then they had the equivalent of a $200 million turnover. IDA, or the Jaeger system, came in, and within 8 years they went from basically $63 million to $380 million a year turnover, which is the equivalent today of $800 million. Isogenics here in Australia is doing $110 million turnover. We haven't even started. All we've had practice of in this country at the moment is A, do their products work? And yeah, we get a big tick on that one. Does their bonus payment keep coming in? Yep, we get a big tick on that one. Have they ever been late with a bonus? No, never been late, right? Do they continually grow their product range with quality products? Yep, big tick with that one. Are they opening in other countries that would give you a greater opportunity? Yep, tick that one. Now, think about this. There's only 24 million people in Australia. What happens when they open in Holland, Germany, Belgium, France? They've opened in the UK. I don't know how many people are in the UK, but I can tell you there's a lot more than 24 million. There's probably 100 million people in the UK. Staggering numbers that we've got opportunity for. And then, of course, you sit there and you go, well, okay, what do I want? It's not, gee, I hope it works. We don't have to worry about, gee, I hope it works. We know it works. Why? These guys have shown us that if you do it, it works. Now, it won't work if we don't do it. It's pretty simple, right? It's like driving a car. If you don't turn it on, it's going nowhere. You've got to get it turned on. You've got to get the energy flowing through it. All righty? Now, I want to stop sharing here. Right? Guys, we are at the moment in an amazing situation. Trevor was telling me, because he rang me on Monday night after the seminar, after the webinar, and we had a bit of a chat for nearly an hour on the phone from Fiji. But anyway, that was his phone call, not mine. He was telling me that all these people are sitting around in conference rooms, having meetings and breakouts, trying to figure out how to put a system in place so as that they can duplicate what they've done. And he said they haven't got a clue because they don't even know what that would look like. They don't even know how they want it to work. We have got Trev's system. We got the Chatham system. We've got the contacting video. We've got the plan video. We've got the GPS booklet, right? So anybody can make a contact from day one. Send out the little 10-minute clip. A brand new person doesn't have to learn how the bonus structure works and all that sort of stuff. They send out the 48-minute clip if somebody's interested. They've shown them the plan. Well, what do I do with them then? Get them signed up, go through the GPS with them, and repeat. We have a cookie cutter system that it's just like making cookies. You just stamp out the same cookie, bang, 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 bang. The teaching remains the same all the way down, all the way down. And I've got to tell you, when you take a big look at this thing and get a big picture of it in your head, that system is millions and millions and millions of dollars of value to you. It is unfathomable the amount of money that will bring in over the next 10, 20 years. Because as isogenics expands around the world, we can expand that same system. And you can do it from your living room here in Australia. You don't even have to travel if you don't want to. I mean, you can if you like, but that's up to you. But there's a difference between being in isogenics and making isogenics fly. All right? Now, what I want to do is I'm going to run a little video past you here. So we're going to share the screen again. And you'll have to read this. So get your reading eyes on. It doesn't have any words in it. It's just, well, sorry, it's got no voice, just words, okay? So here we go. Two, 1, 2. The difference between hot water and steam. And as you go through and you build this business, you're going to talk to a lot of people who are just hot water. You know, you make a nice cup of tea. That's about it. Right? The main thing is you be the steam. You be the steam that drives this. You be the 1 degree difference. What does that 1 degree difference look like? Well, it looks like sending out contacts as often and every day as best you can, right? Now, in what we're doing, this business is so simple, right? We've got to understand the numbers. I'm going to come back to these numbers again in a minute. The numbers don't lie. In any business, you must analyze the numbers. Now, we've seen Trevor's 10-minute video, right? Give me a wave. Yep, we've all seen that. Good. We understand that to build this sort of business, we've got to learn to think a little differently. Okay, that's fine. But why would we learn to think a little differently? Well, let's go back here to these numbers, right? Let me go through this again. Here in Australia, there are only 60,000 active isogenics distributors. Now, they're not business builders. Active meaning they order product on a monthly basis. That's their definition of active. Now, there would be 10% at best, at absolute best, of people out there having a go and sharing the concept. And there would be 1% of people out there absolutely committed, red hot, going for it. Now, here in Australia, we have 24 million people. The average household has 2.5 million people. Therefore, we have 9.6 million households, and that's our marketplace. So we divide the 60,000 into the 9,600,000, and we find that 0.63% of all the households in Australia are isogenics distributors. Less than a half of 1% of every house in every street, in every town, in every city, and every farm in between. That's your marketplace. We look at the product range. We have products that the weight loss industry is a multi-billion-dollar industry. The health and fitness industry for the guys in the gymnasium and sports and all that sort of stuff is another multi-billion-dollar industry. The youthful aging, the anti-aging industry is about $13 billion, right? And then just nutritional food, good, clean, healthy food is again another multi-billion-dollar industry. So we've got all these crossovers of these multi-billion-dollar industries that our products fit. We've got virtually nobody in the country as our opposition. Nobody in the entire country of Australia has a teachable, trainable system other than Trevor Chatham's group, the Chatham system. And so we can run that cookie cutter system all the way through. No matter how deep, no matter how big your business gets, person one at the top will be teaching exactly the same thing as person 220 at the bottom, right? And so what happens is in doing all that, we just make sure that everybody knows how to use the Chatham system. It's brilliant. And so then we look at isogenics, what they're prepared to pay. Okay, so if you've got 300 points on one side, 600 points worth of product on the other side, you get paid $60. Now, that's the equivalent, if you were getting that each week, that would be the equivalent of having over $100,000 in the bank and getting 3% interest. But if we had 10 lots of that going on, so you've built a structure, you've put some energy in, and you've got 10 cycles. So you've got 10 lots of 600 down one side, 10 lots of 300 down the other side. You're now getting paid $600 a week in on top of what you're currently earning. You would need to have $1 million in the bank getting 3% interest to return the same. Except here, we've got no capital at risk. We've got no wages. We've got no accounts receivable, no accounts payable, no staff. And isogenics do all the paperwork, pay all the bonuses downline, and it costs you $25 to buy your business plus whatever products you want. And you've got license to operate in a growing marketplace. They're just opening in the UK, the Republic of Ireland. They're opening in the Netherlands, and then Belgium and Germany coming online. Guys, we have got an opportunity here that, quite frankly, I've got to find another word to use because you're getting sick of hearing this one, but it is staggering, the opportunity. I know in conventional business what it costs to fail. You know, I spent $1.6 million trying not to fail in business. Manufacturing in this country, pretty tough gig, right? However, right, you've got to have a crack from time to time. But at the end of the day, what we look at here is the opportunity we have with this is mind-blowing. And again, let me come back to this out of this booklet. See that? Guys, I'll just stop sharing this page and I'm going to put that up there. See that? The names of these people who have made $1 million in bonuses are published. It's not a theory. It's not, oh yeah, but they're all over in America. No, these are all in Australia and New Zealand. There's 27 of them. There's over 230 that have made $1 million worldwide and growing every day, right? And the only thing that's different between those people and us people is two things. One is their belief in themselves that it was possible and the amount of effort they put in. Right? There lies the difference. There lies the difference. And it's a big difference. Now, bear with me while I go and dig out this other little video clip that I've got here somewhere. It'll be on this one. Hang on, guys. No, it's not there. Let me just shift that. It's not there. It's got to be here. And it's there. So let me stop sharing that screen.
Hey, welcome back to 6 Minutes.
Hang on, guys.
You know,
Whoa, Bob. Whoa, just stop.
But this is one of my favorites. As a man.
Hang on. Sorry, guys, for the muck up along here, but we will get this going. All right. Now, this is Bob Proctor. A lot of you have heard of Bob Proctor, and he's got this little 2-minute video that I think is just great. So let's have a little listen to Bob for a second. It's all about how you think.
Hey, welcome back to 6 Minutes. You know, I've got thousands of books in my library, but this is one of my favorites. As a Man Thinketh by James Allen. You know, thinking is the highest function that we're capable of. But there's something that precedes that in importance, I think. And here he's got thought and purpose. He said, until thought is linked with purpose, there is no intelligent accomplishment. Now listen to this. He says, they who have no central purpose in their life fall an easy prey to petty worries, fears, troubles, and self-pitying. Isn't that interesting? You're going to run into a number of people today that are petty. They're picking at little things. They're worried about something that really doesn't amount to anything. I'm going to suggest those people have no purpose in life. You know, I took 3 days with John Assaraf, who you may have seen on The Secret, and Mark Meyer, they're 2 partners of mine. And we went to Cy Ranch up at Clear Lake Oaks, California. We spent 3 days focusing on purpose. We wanted to discover our purpose and then make sure that it was worded properly. That was the most valuable 3 days that I've probably ever spent. Les Brown said the 2 most important days of your life: the day you're born and the day you discover why you're born. Think of it. Your purpose is like a North Star. It's like a compass for life. I'm going to ask you to sit down, and if you have a purpose, review it. Think about it. Write it out. And then ask yourself, is everything I'm doing on purpose today? And if you haven't got one, sit down and make up your mind that you're going to discover your purpose. Why are you here? Why are you living? Why are you doing what you're doing? Because that's what purpose is all about. Take the next 4 or 5 minutes.
That little book, As a Man Thinketh. Great little book. Man, it's only about this thick. You'll read it in an hour or hour and a half. right? And guys, look, there's no problem with Isogenics paying out money. Jimmy Smith and his family, like Jimmy and his 2 daughters, collectively in 15 years or whatever it's been, have earned $57 million. Isogenics will just keep paying the money as long as you keep shifting the product, right? And what I like about it is I don't have staff. I don't have stock. I don't have inventory. I don't have to do deliveries. I don't have to do the paperwork. This is a business sent from heaven, I'm sure, right? It's amazing. So, guys, what we've got is some really, really, really interesting things coming up. We really do, right? We really do have a lot of interesting things coming up. One of the facts is that I think Isogenics are releasing a new bonus at the end of this month. More money, right? I'm always up for more money. I don't know about you. More's always been better than less, all right? But here's the deal. That little 10-minute video clip, we got to get it in front of a lot more people to sift and sort. That video is not there to convince anybody to get in. It's only there to see who's in the looking zone and who's not in the looking zone. And there will always be more people not in the looking zone than there are those in the looking zone. Our job to use that video is to sort and sift. Don't get discouraged if someone says no. That's normal. That video talks about being able to think a little differently. Now, yesterday when I was catching up with Bob Pooley, we were having coffee down at Elizabeth McDonald's, and there was a girl sitting over in the corner, and she had a computer there, she had paperwork going everywhere, and she was just sitting there doing her work, right? She was a rep. Anyway, Bob had to get up and go use the little room, and so I thought, right, I'll go and contact you. The place was full of, I call them Star Wars people. They're all shapes and sizes. Some have got teeth, some haven't, and that's just the women. And so this lady looked like a gold nugget sitting in amongst all these people. I went up and approached her and said, you know, talked about her work and all that sort of stuff. And I said, look, I notice you're really focused on what you're doing, and I'm guessing that you're a rep. And she said, oh, yeah, I work for, you know, this company. And I said, great. I said, this is just a shot in the dark. Are you open to looking at additional income that could surpass what you're currently earning? And she smiled. She said, I get paid pretty well. I said, so you're not looking for any additional income? And she said, oh, no, additional income's always handy, but I don't think it'll surpass. I said, well, okay. I said, would an extra $5,000 or $6,000 a week be any good to you? She said, yep, that'll surpass it. So I sent her the clip this morning. Now, I didn't send it to her right there and then. I didn't send it to her last night. I sent it to her this morning. Right? I'll follow her up tomorrow. She's either going to say, yes, I'm interested, or no, I'm not. Does it matter? No. If she says yes, I just made a new friend. Traveling around making friends, drinking coffee for profit and fun. If she says no, I'll never see her again ever for the rest of my life. You know, if she says no, I guarantee you there'll be no blood, there'll be no bruising, there'll be nothing like that. It's painless, right? We've just got to get this thing to move the way it's designed to move. And now that we've got a system, we can teach anybody from anywhere, right? We've got the GPS system, right? Trevor's booklet. We've got these link ups. We can actually sit there on a Zoom meeting like this and go through a full planned presentation, 48-minute presentation with one-on-one or two or three or however many people you like, regardless of where they are geographically. Now, think about where we are tonight. Where are we now? Darren and Dean and Kay and John, you're in South Australia. Lisa, you're in Queensland. Jerry, you're in New South Wales. Maria, you're in Queensland. Peter, you're in Victoria. Mike, you're in the mid-north of South Australia. Ben, you're over at, where are you? Over on the coast there somewhere. James, not sure where you're from, my good friend. Nat, you're here in South Australia. So, you know, we're from all over the place here, right? Ben, you're in Port Lincoln. I got it. I remembered it, mate. Good, right. But so we can do this sort of presentation. We can show full plan presentations, or we can just sit down and catch up and have a cup of coffee on this sort of link. We're not running around the country burning up fuel and motor cars and tyres and all that sort of stuff, getting speeding fines. God, I've got enough of them. I just don't need any more of those. So I'm safer sitting here rather than being out there. Just the sheriff just has a magnet attached to my car. Camera sneaks up behind me, I'm sure of it. But anyway, so guys, we have the best training system out there. There's a lot of people out there who are in isogenics. There's a lot of people out there who've never ever seen the marketing plan. Doesn't matter. We've got the tools, we have got the system, and I honestly believe if isogenics are doing $110 million a year here in Australia now, I honestly believe in the next 5 years we can take that to $500 million. That's how fast we can grow this. And when you think about what that would do to your income if you were a key driver, if you were a key player in driving that growth, what would that do to your lifestyle? What would that do to the way you spend every day? Your ideal day would be so different. Right? And if Jimmy Smith can get in this thing at 74 years of age and look as good as he does at 89 or whatever he is now, man, I'm up for that, I can tell you. All right. Now, I'm going to unmute everybody. Unmute all. Okay, now, has anybody got any questions on anything I've gone through there this evening? No.
All good.
All looking good?
Yeah, I'm going to listen to the recording again.
Yeah. I've got it recorded. We'll get it up there. It'll be a bit rough.
Beautiful.
And what I'll do tomorrow is I'll put out on our TNC Facebook page those two videos separately so as you can hear them better. Okay, so you'll be able to get that.
I do have a question, Tim.
Yes, Maria.
I was just thinking, you know how we had the first lot of videos, we don't use them anymore, do we? The ones that are...
No.
We mainly focus on these ones now.
Yeah, the 10-minute.
Yeah.
The 10-minute one.
Yeah.
And then the 48-minute one.
Yeah.
The others.
Because there's everything on there, sort of shortened.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
So and that, and it's so simple. And we've got the new 20-odd minute product one. If somebody's just interested in product or wants to know a bit more about the product side of it, we can send them that video. And so with those three videos, we've pretty much got everything covered from the concept of contacting people, full presentation, and or just product. And in doing that, we cover the great majority of people we're ever going to bump into.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah. No, it's really, really good. So you guys up in Queensland, you've got Trevor and Linda coming in to do a training seminar, I think just before the
27th.
Yeah, 27th. Yeah.
Or 26th, actually, I think.
It? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's on the Sunday. It's the day after the election. So it'll be the 26th. So, it is this. We are literally the spearhead of the new generation of what's going to happen in isogenics.
Definitely.
It's just
so, Tim, when you were saying Trevor was in these conferences, they're trying to work out how they're going to put a system together. Is Trevor giving them any hints or tips, or are they going to let him find out on their own?
he feels it's best that they figure it out for themselves.
Okay, good.
You know, because, you know, people feel good when they figure something out for themselves, you know?
Yes, that's right, yes.
And so, no, there'll be no hints, no tips, no, well, have you looked at this or have you had a look around that? There'll be none of that. Trevor's sitting there. He and Linda are just shaking their heads, thinking these people have not got a snowball's hope in hell.
Mm.
Sad.
No, that's good news for us.
Yeah.
Tim, was there any feedback from Trev and Linda around release of any different products or?
No, they're pretty tight-lipped on that at the moment. I don't know what's going on. I think we're getting a little bit more in the athlete's range. From what I saw a little snippet in Linda's basket, in that basket she had, and there was something in the amp range. I don't know whether we're getting a different flavoured shake or not as a permanent shake. But what I'm hanging out for, and to a lot of you it'll be clear as to why, they have a brain food over there, right? And it's specifically designed to not just stimulate the brain, but to actively regrow the receptors within the brain.
Yep.
And I'm hanging out for that. Yeah.
You might go back to driving a Ford then.
Oh, Chesney, you're on there, mate. It's supposed to help, not turn me insane, young fellow.
Yeah, good one.
Cheeky buggers. Yeah.
Sorry, Chair. I did hear from Ali too.
Oh, good. What's Ali doing?
We can talk another time, but he's still in Melbourne. There was an issue at the house he was in. That's why he couldn't pull you over there.
Okay, right. That's
But,
okay.
yeah, he said they're still good to go.
Oh, well, that's a good thing.
Yeah, so it's just a bit of timing. But he said he's still got to stay there another 2 weeks.
All right, okay.
To sort out some family issues.
All right. Well, we'll get him sorted when we can, mate.
Yeah. He said, yeah, they're all keen, but it's just a matter of timing at the moment.
All righty, no dramas. Now, Ben Gardner, can I go through that, tell the guys about that link again, like the, not the link, but the conversation starter you've heard on that?
Sure.
Yeah. I'm staggered at this. This is the simplest approach that I've ever seen, and Ben Gardner picked up on it in the Icebreakers book that he was listening to. And in having a conversation with people, it doesn't matter. They could be a mechanic, they could be a waitress, they could be a dentist, they could be anything. And the conversation go, oh, well, yeah, no, I'm a bricklayer or I'm a mechanic. Oh, right. So you're a mechanic. Did you see that thing on YouTube, how tradespeople can literally double their income over a real short period of time without doubling their workload? No, I didn't see that. Well, mate, I've got a 10-minute video clip. I'll send it to you. Give us your phone number. And bang, off it goes. It could be a waitress. It could be a bus driver. It could be anybody. Cold contact, brilliant approach, no foul called, and you send them that 10-minute video clip and they're either looking or they're not. Now, that's not to take away from your list that you would have written down of all the people you know, people you've been in business with, all the stuff you know. But this is just in case you come across somebody that's a bit sharp and you can go, oh, I saw the other day how hairdressers, I saw this on YouTube, how hairdressers are literally now starting to double their income without doubling their workload. Did you see that? No. Do you want to have a look at it? Hell yeah, I'd be interested in doing that. Flick, there goes another 10-minute video. The more seeds you sow, the bigger crop you'll have. Just that simple.
Pack of cards, Tim.
Sorry, Pete?
Every night.
A pack of cards.
A pack of cards, yeah. You're only looking for those 4 aces. There's a lot of number cards in there, but you're only looking for the 4 aces. And for Ben Gardner, Ben's a coach driver, a tour driver. He's in a different town every night. You know, he could
10 minutes, okay?
He could set that up real quick. He could have a network that spanned across the country so fast your head would spin. Right? So, guys, we literally do. Literally, we have the best business model. No capital at risk. No staff to pay. Isogenics do stuff it all in the boxes and ship it to where we want it to go to. And all we got to do is find the people to send the product to. And you get paid for eating your food. Where was the last time you went down to Coles or Woolies, bought a few $100 worth of food, and you suggested to a few of your friends to shop there, and Coles and Woolies sent, you know, an extra $1,000 home with you that week? It doesn't happen. You know, I was talking to one of Mike's downline today, and he rang me up. He said, "Hey, something's gone wrong." I said, "What do you mean?" He said, "I just got a $500 bonus." He said, "How does that work?" He said, "I haven't done anything." You can't believe the money that just rolled into his bank account. I said, "Mate, get used to it. That's how this thing works. You go and do a bit of work, get a couple of people signed up, stay on auto ship, all the volume from underneath just keeps riding up." It's brilliant. It really is brilliant. Guys, we're going to call it a night. And we've just got a couple of early minutes. So it's really good. Hey, James, where are you from? You're new on our system here. Sorry, mate, where are you from? Oh, okay. Right. Good. A good part of the world. Lovely. Good stuff. Well, welcome. Glad to have you on board, mate. That's glad you were able to make it tonight. And, you know, let's see where this thing can go to. You got Peter Benson there, our resident Victorian champion, and all-around good guy and rower extraordinaire. So it's all good. It's all good. Well, listen, guys, it's entirely up to you what you want out of this. But business by the numbers, driven by passion, it's called a dream. We know what the numbers are. Nobody else has got a system. And for this sort of business to succeed long term, you must have systems that allow it to duplicate. And that's what we've got. All right.
All right, Tim. I'll catch you later, Tim. I've got to